Former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn already hitting a roadblock in his lawsuit against the January 6th committee. Flynn will not get a temporary restraining order that would, for now, shield him from having to give a deposition. In the lawsuit, Flynn's lawyers allege that he is being, quote, irreparably and illegally coerced to produce information and testimony in violation of the law and his constitutional rights. Joining me now is NBC News Justice correspondent Pete Williams. And to steal these words from you, sir, well, that was fast.
It was, because Flynn just asked for this temporary restraining order yesterday. So he's got the lawsuit, but in the meantime, he said to the judge, you know, I want you to immediately issue a ruling that'll block this subpoena. But the judge says today, no, she's not going to do that for a couple of reasons. Number one, she says there's no evidence of any urgency here. His deposition, where he'd have to show up and answer questions, has been postponed with no date set. And secondly, his date for producing documents was November 23rd. There doesn't seem to be any urgency to the committee taking any steps to get him to respond to that or taking any other steps in view of that. So the judge basically says there's no urgency here. And secondly, she says his lawyers failed to follow the federal rules of the way you normally would do this sort of thing. So back to the lawsuit. What Flynn is trying to do here is get the subpoena thrown out. He says, as you note, that it would violate his First Amendment rights. He says it inquires into his political views. He says it touches on matters that might involve a criminal investigation, so it violates his Fifth Amendment rights. And then he also says that the House committee doesn't have the proper legal authority to do this because of the way it was set up under House rules and because it doesn't have a legislative purpose. So those are all similar arguments to what are being raised in these lawsuits that have been filed by other people who have been subpoenaed by the committee and are trying to resist it in court. And I think it's fair to say that the goal in all these lawsuits is the same: delay.
Delay, delay, delay. Pete Williams. Pete, thank you very much.